now, doesn't it? As they stand alone right now. No cornermen. They're just ready to make the ring walk for the biggest fight that boxing can.
Keep your hands and keep your chin up. It's the one and only Ghost with a shadow in the front. And we are here before I go to work today. Because I still don't even know if I'm going to work or not. And so while I'm waiting to see if I am going or not, I figured I'll just do my live now, since the past couple of lives I haven't been getting them out the way. And besides, I really did want to talk about this situation that we're seeing with Jaron Boots Ennis, which is kind of surprising for me. I will say that I'm not going to sit here and bad, like, I'm not going to talk. Me personally, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything, because I don't. But I can tell you like this, like, one of the reasons why I really did. Wait, my shit is on, ain't it? Hold on. I know my shit is on. Hold on a second. Because I kept my settings, bro. Oh, yeah. We are good. So, yeah, man, it's kind of surprising with what we're saying. First off, I hope everyone is having a blessed day. And hope everyone has a blessed day. Stay positive throughout your day. And things might not always get better, but at least you're positive. You know what I mean? I know when you stay negative, shit doesn't really go that well. But, man, this whole week has been up and down with how I've been feeling in regards to certain things. And I'm gonna start off. Actually, I'm gonna talk about Boots Ennis and Tio in a second, because when it comes to Tio, bro, I'm gonna get into that in a second, because it's something that just keeps happening, and I'm not gonna keep explaining myself to certain people. I have to just come to a point and just recognize that at some point, I don't have time to whether decipher whether somebody is trolling or not. But really, to be honest with you, I think some of these guys are really trolling me. And not only that, but I don't really owe anybody an explanation for anything that I say. I feel like I'm a respectful person, bro. I really do. Okay. I could simply come on here and just say, eat a dick, you know what I mean? I'm not like that. I dropped the link. You guys are welcome. We could talk about this. I love boxing. I'm very fair. Let me start before I say anything. I do not think in the slightest that Jaron Boots Ennis is scared of Tio, but I will say some things aren't adding up. And number one, before I get into that, I do want to say that what I find interesting in another fight that's taking place will be Kid Austin and Tevin Farmer. And I just want to say, I think that fight is a very, very underrated fight. I think it's a very underrated fight. And I'm gonna take a different take on this, but I think Kid Austin might actually lose that fight. And the reason why I feel like Kid Austin might lose that fight is because they were supposed to fight Shakur, right? And they didn't end up fighting Shakur. Then Abdullah Mason apparently offered up. Now, regardless whether it was enough or not, the fact of the matter is, when you're moving a certain way, people are going to criticize you no matter what you do, right? If you fight a good fighter and you win, sometimes if people don't like you, bro, they're going to criticize you anyway. You know what I mean? Unless you flat out knock somebody out early in the fight and you leave it up without no debate whatsoever, you're still going to get criticized, right? A perfect example. The past couple of lives I've been doing is in regards to Teofimo Lopez, right? Okay. And, it's no secret with how I view him as a fighter, right? But it's also no secret that when I do talk about him, I talk about him specifically in the ring. I don't necessarily attach too much what people do outside the ring, because I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair as a fan. And I can't blame anybody but Teofimo. Let me put it to you like that. He doesn't help the situation, but I think people should be grown-ups, bro. Be a grown-up. Like, you should know that if a person likes a certain fighter, it doesn't mean that they inherit their politics, they inherit their beliefs, they inherit things like that. It's just kind of ridiculous with some of the things that people say to me. You know, it's like, look, I go for a fighter for what he does in the ring. It's no different than if I'm, look, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks fan. We're about to get eliminated, by the way. I hardly ever watch basketball. Let me see if I can change the light here. I hardly ever watch basketball, but the Knicks, we are in the playoffs, and we're going to be eliminated. I can tell you that right now. And that's kind of sad because I usually don't watch basketball, man. But when the Knicks are playing, man, I don't know. I really like New York. I like the Knicks. I hope they win, but I don't think they're going to win. But that's here nor there. That's here nor there. The reason why I bring the Knicks up, by the way, is because, combat sports, at the end of the day, boxing is a sport. Boxing is a sport. Now, you might not think it's a different type of sport, but it still is a sport. And the reason why it's a sport is because there is rules. You know what I mean? You can't just kick somebody in the nuts. You can't just do rabbit punches. You can't just do whatever you want. There's a referee in the ring. Okay, this isn't the Roman Coliseum back in the day where they just let you loose and you fight till death. Which, by the way, that would be crazy, right? I was thinking the other day, since we are allowed to watch boxing and we're allowed to watch UFC, why? I mean, they literally have the smacking. What is that? The shit with the UFC? They let a dude smack you in the face. You don't even block or nothing. People are getting concussed numerous times. Like, that is the most dangerous sport, hands down. You let somebody hit you without blocking. And that is just, Hey, Victor, what's going on? Hey, you can't hate on the Knicks and you're a Sixers fan? Hey, man, listen, bro. We're not going to go nowhere, bro. Yo, I've learned something with the Knicks, bro. I've learned something with the Knicks, bro. Just, you should know what's up, bro. Just take the good with the bad, my boy. You know we ain't gonna go nowhere. It's like the Knicks are one of those teams where it's like, just be happy they made it this far, bro. Just, you know what I mean? Just be happy they made it this far. I mean, they are notorious, bro, for getting. You think they have a great season, right? And you're like, wow, we're gonna go this year, and you know damn well y'all ain't going nowhere, bro. The Knicks are gonna fall like always. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. That dude Brunson, bro. Like I said, I don't even watch basketball that much. You know what I mean? The NFL, I'm an Eagles fan, and the NBA, I'm a Knicks fan. I know it's kind of weird, but when you live in New Jersey, bro, when you live in New Jersey, the New York, the Boston, the New York, the Boston, and the Philly teams, they're like, like my friend, he's a Giants fan, a Sixers fan, and I think or something like that. But when you're close, when you live over there, all these teams are near you, right? So I'm an Eagles fan and I'm a Knicks fan, and I can tell you this right now: Knicks are one of those teams where just be happy they made it to the playoffs, bro. All right. But that dude Brunson, bro, that dude is nice, bro. I like that dude. That dude is real. Yo, and the other dude too, he's kind of zesty. Yo, is it me? We're gonna get into boxing in a second, but is it me or a lot of these guys zesty like in sports in general? Bro, I'm telling you, I watched the other day, these guys arrived to the arena. Like, am I bugging? But I saw dudes with a purse. I saw a dude with his nails done. And I'm like, yo, this is, and I had to take a double take. Like, he did his nails. And I thought that was Tank. I thought when Tank did his nails, I thought that was just some random shit. No. A lot of these men are doing their nails and carrying pocketbooks. And I'm like, bruh, damn, man. Anyway, shout out to the Knicks, bro. I know we ain't gonna go nowhere, but man, I'm watching these dudes arrive to the game with their nails did, pulling a purse over their shoulder, man. What the hell is the world coming to, man? Do what you want. But this is weird to me. And I don't know at one point in time, did we as a society where men started going, shit, you know what I'm gonna do today, bro? Hey, yo, I'm gonna go get my nails did. And then I'm gonna meet you at 7, bro. I'm gonna go pick up this pocketbook over there. Yeah, so this pocketbook over there on Fordham Road. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Get up with the Yeezys. Yeah, with the yeah. Like, what the hell is going on with these people, man? Fashion is in an all-time low. Yeah, yo, I saw, bruh. Yeah, let's talk. Before I get to that, though, I do want to address what's going on. Well, you guys see the topic. I'm gonna say this, man. I am surprised. Okay, I am a Jaron Boots Ennis fan. I've always liked him. Um, and let me make something clear because I don't have to respond to people. I don't have to, but I choose to because I don't know how many times I got to tell you guys. I consider this like a sport. Okay, like the me having a channel, me talking about boxing, me giving my take. It's competitive. You know what I mean? It's competitive, but I have no hard feelings towards anybody. uh for those that don't know me, because I know I had some new subscribers lately, and some dude was talking to me crazy in the comments, and I'm like, bro, you don't know me, bro. You just seen one live. Stop, bro. Stop judging me, bro. This dude thinks I'm a racist. He thinks because I like Teo, like I'm down with all the other shit. I'm like, bro, you watched one live of mine, man. I don't owe you an explanation, bro. I don't have to explain who I am. But I mean, anybody that's watched me for a long period of time knows how I feel about that situation, knows how I treat every fighter. Uh, I'm even the fighters that I'm hard on, right? The ones that I really do criticize bad, I'm even open about that. You know what I mean? Like I criticize Devin a lot, but you got to understand, like if I like Teo, naturally I'm gonna have a rivalry against Tank and Devin. It's all fun and games, bro. But do I think Devin is a horrible fighter? No, I don't, bro. I don't. And I don't know any of these guys. And just to step in the ring alone, bro, takes like a ton of balls. Like, and I mean, I'm not one of these dudes, bro, that be like, oh, these guys are fighting cab drivers or nothing. Like, I don't do none of that. Okay. But at the same time, I'm gonna be very open in regards to how I feel in regards to a fighting style that I like to watch, right? I'm just gonna be honest, but that don't mean like I shouldn't have to explain myself. I'm just saying I do it because I don't know whether people are trolling or they're really that. You know what I mean? So a dude said to me, so I brought up the May 2nd card, right? The May 2nd card, the when Devin fought Ramirez and Ryan lost to Rowley and Teo fought Barbosis and the Japanese kid did his all debut, right? So in my live, I said, yo, I fucks with Teo, right? I don't know how many times I got to tell y'all in the ring, okay? I don't inherit everything he thinks. You know what I mean? Like if you a Democrat and you my friend, that don't mean I'm a Democrat, bro. Or if you a Muslim, I believe in Allah. Like this is common sense stuff, right? It just means that I go for that fighter, and it's not just him. I have a favorite fighter in every weight class. So at 130, I like Raymond Ford. At 135, I'm Keyshawn Davis all day, which, by the way, I've been open in regards to how I feel with Keyshawn Davis and Teo, and I'm going to touch on that in a second, just to prove to people that I'm very fair when it comes to Teo, because I've said openly, and I've argued with HOD, I think Keyshawn Davis is all wrong for Teofimo Lopez. I think, my opinion, I think Keyshawn is the best at 135. I think Keyshawn is a complete fighter. I really like Keyshawn. I don't really care too much about the antics. I'm telling you what I see in the ring. I see a fighter that can fight going forwards, backwards. He's got good counter punching ability. He's got great catch and shoot uppercuts, bro. He's a threat, bro. And people, what I see today in today's boxing, like the fans, right? And I noticed this. Maybe it's always been like this. Maybe it's always been here. I don't know. But what I see a lot is if a person doesn't like a fighter, which there's nothing wrong with that, but what I see a lot is I feel like people like to tear down a fighter's resume when a fighter that they like has fought similar opponents. And that's just weird to me at the end of the day. If you think Keyshawn fights if he fights because what did HOD say to me? Oh, I don't like Keyshawn because he beats up on smaller fighters. Okay, bro. Okay. The people they're putting in front of him, he's beating them clear-handedly, right? It is not even debatable. Nobody sits there and goes, oh, well, you think Keyshawn Davis got robbed yesterday? No, bro. He's knocking him out. He's stopping him. Terrific performance. I'm going off what they fight in the ring. If that's the case, let's just shit on Terrence Buff Crawford's resume then. Let's just do that. Or let's shit on Canelo's resume at 168. Because I'm pretty sure, like if you really think that Canelo sat back and went, let me calculate which weight class has the least opposition and let me go there. I doubt it, bro. I doubt Bud Crawford was like, well, let me go undisputed at 140, because when I'm looking at the landscape here, these guys got the weakest champions. No, I don't think he did that. I don't think he did that. I think he was campaigning at 140 and said, I want to unify. I want to be undisputed. You know, it is what it is. You know, I try not to shit on people. Like, look at Berlanga. I don't like Berlanga. Okay, I don't like Berlanga. I got my own reasons why I don't like Berlanga. But if he beats Shiraz, yo, credit to him. Even though Shiraz is moving up in weight, I still think that's a dangerous fight for him. I know a lot of people don't think that guy is good. I think he's good. Now, I think he lost to Adames, but still, you got to understand, I don't think Berlanga is that good. So if he beats Shiraz, although Shiraz is moving up in weight, that's a good win. Berlanga gets my, I'm gonna be like, yo, shout out to Berlanga, bro. Because I really do think he's gonna lose that fight. Hopefully he proves me wrong. But getting back to what somebody had said to me yesterday, and if you're watching, bro, look, I ain't got nothing against you, bro. I'm answering you because I did take offense to that, bro. Like, I take offense to that. I was going back and forth on this guy, and I don't know whether he knew me or not, but it did bother me. So he had made a comment, and he said something like, yo, in your live, you said, because apparently I think maybe he was upset. I'm thinking he's a Devin Haney fan. I don't know. I know I've been criticizing Devin Haney a lot lately, right? And he said something like, well, you over here talking about Devin Haney stats, but your man Teo, bro, he threw an all-time low against Barboza. And I said, well, yeah, look, man, he didn't have the best performance, but he did have the best performance that night. And shout out to, who was I watching? I think it was Punch, right? Punch showed the punch stats of Teo's punch stats. And I said, let me ask you a question. I'm a little bit confused. Like, so you're going at the guy that had the best performance that night? Like, does that make sense to you? Like, if there's a fight card and all 4 matches are horrible, every fighter does horrible. Let's not forget that May 2nd card was supposed to be a very exciting card, bro. Very exciting. I'm still upset that card went like that. I'm still upset because as a boxing fan, I was looking forward to that, because I feel like that would have opened up more events like that. Anything that puts boxing in a spotlight, I'm all for. I don't care whether I like the fighters that are on the card or not. Like, I want boxing to be known and recognized. I want the fighters to get paid well. I want the sport. I want the best fighters to fight the best. That's what I want, because when I take time out of my day and I pay for a pay-per-view, or sometimes I don't go to work, or sometimes, like, I want it to be worth it, bro. And if it's not, I'm going to voice my opinion. It don't matter whether I like the fighter or not. So I was very clear. I said, yo, Teo didn't have the best performance, bro. He didn't. And I'm always going to criticize him anyway. Anybody that I like gets extra criticism off rip. So it's kind of unfair for the fighters that I do like. It's kind of unfair, because I'm going to go at them regardless, because I always expect them to be the best that they could be, right? But going back before I get into that, so it's not just him. Like, 130, I like Raymond Ford. 135, I like Keyshawn Davis. Okay, 140, I like Teofimo Lopez. Okay, 147, I'm Jaron in his boots. 154, I like Virgil Ortiz and Erickson Lubin. This is weird, right? It's weird, right? I like Inoue. I like a fighter for every weight class, sort of, is how I do it, right? But that don't take away, like, that's not the only fighter that I like. We all are going to gravitate to somebody, bro. I don't believe you when you say that you watch a sport and you like everybody just the same. Every one of us should have a fighter that we like more than others, bro. If you don't, you're watching boxing wrong. You're watching it wrong. Like, I find it hard to believe that you could sit back and watch the sport of boxing in 2025. And I say to you, who do you like at 135? And you go, everybody. That's crazy. So you're telling me you don't like Tank more than you don't like Tank more than Shakur? You don't like Keyshawn more than Shakur? How about Abdullah Mason? How about Cepeda? You like all these guys just the same. They all fight drastically different too, by the way. Drastically different. Cepeda throws a lot of punches and is very come forward and has a high work rate. Shakur Stevenson, very, very, very defensive. Maybe a little bit too much defensive. Keyshawn Davis, I think, is the best of both worlds. He could be defensive. He could be offensive. He could fight going backwards. He's got good. What about Kid Austin? Kid Austin is another one. Young kid coming up, right? He could fight orthodox. He could fight southpaw, right? Probably needs to work on his defense a little bit, but the kid is game, which, by the way, that fight with him coming up with Tevin Farmer, he might lose that fight. He might lose that fight. Why is that noise like that? That is a weird noise that I'm hearing. But anyway. You think so? Dallas? Hey, Tycho, you know what, bro? I hope it's a good fight, bro. I hope it's a good fight. But you know I like Keyshawn Davis. And look, Tycho, haven't I told you before on numerous occasions that I feel like Keyshawn is bad news for Tio if they were ever to fight? Very open about that. Because I look at styles, right? I look at styles. And I just think he's dangerous. You know, I do think that what's his name? Andy Cruz, right? Didn't Andy Cruz beat Keyshawn like 3 times in the Olympics? I mean, I think Keyshawn's probably being pushed a little. Is Andy Cruz? By the way, hold on. Is Andy Cruz still with Jaron and his boots in him? Speaking of Jaron and his boots, is Andy Cruz? Does he still fight? Is he still trained by Jaron and his boots' father? I think if he stays with him, yeah. Well, before I jump all over the place, let me get to the topic real quick because I'm going to say that I am surprised, bro. I am surprised. I still don't think nobody's afraid of anybody, but something isn't adding up, okay? I can tell you this. I was very open and vocal about that. I don't believe everything. Well, first off, I don't believe everything any promoter say. I don't care if it's Eddie Hearn. I don't care if it's Oscar. I don't care. Well, Al Heyman, you never see him. We never hear him. But like Bob Arum, I feel like Bob Arum is the most open. Why? Because like I said, the man is 90-something years old. And when you're 90-something years old and you know that you could die tomorrow, you just tend not to care as much. And you tend to tell the truth more. You know what I mean? Like Bob Arum doesn't have the time to sit back and to be bullshitting people. The man could die by 3 p.m. today. So the man just doesn't hold his tongue. He says whatever he says. Look how disrespectful he was to Terrence Bud Crawford, who was under him at the time. Like, what kind of promoter says in regards to his own fighter in front of the whole world, like, oh, look at all the money I lost on this guy. I could have got a house in Beverly Hills. Like, bro, that's crazy for you to even say that about a fighter that you are promoting currently. It was so bad. Dana White from the UFC was like, yo, what is wrong with you? Is that how you treat your fighters? Or even Dana White shouldn't be talking, but yeah, I do want to see that. You do know that De Los Santos has like a year off, right? I think he's had and he's coming off an injury, Tycho. But yo, I hope he's in the best condition because I want to see a good fight. But in regards to Boots, man, something's going on. And you know what's crazy? Do you know what I'm seeing for the first time? It shocked me. It shocked me, bro. It really did. So you know how we got certain channels that I kind of typically I don't follow them with the way that they look at boxing, right? I don't hate nobody, but let's just say like if it was politics, right? Let's just say they're on the opposite side of how I view certain fighters and how I view just the mentality of things, right? But I was shocked. I believe I saw, and I hardly ever see the guy. Who was his name? Aki TV? Not a huge fan of the brother, bro. But even he was like, hey, I know y'all don't want to hear it, but I think Boots ducked. I think, yeah, Boots has ducked Tio because this is the second time. And this is why it's kind of weird because this is the second time. And who was I watching the other day who pulled up? I tried to find the tweet and I can't find it, but was it Punch? I think it was Punch. It was somebody. Let me see if I can find it. But let's not forget that the Ring Magazine had put up a prior to the May 2nd card, Turk Al-Sheikh or the Ring Magazine or whoever runs that, he's the owner, I believe, put up a tweet with a picture on there, right? And on the picture, it said, now mind you, this was the fight that was coming up on May 2nd, right? Basically, in so many words, it said, first off, they were already anticipating that Rolly was going to lose. And I guess, Devin, so they thought Devin was going to win, which he did. And then they thought Ryan was going to win, right? So he put up on there Ryan and Devin 2, right? Anticipating both of them were going to win. Then he said Teo, he was anticipating Teo was going to beat Barboza, which he did. And he put Devin and Haney, winner gets the winner of Teo and Boots. And this was months ago. This is months ago. So they were already telling you like what they were planning on doing. Then I find it weird that in a day of social media where somebody was saying to me the other day, they said something like, oh, well, you talk so much shit about Devin. How many times did Devin call out Teo? And I'm like, brother, people call out people all the time. I mean, I could turn on my Instagram right now. And go, yo, tell Tycho I want to beat his ass. Like, that's not the same, brother. That's not the same as an actual, your team has gotten together or they are presenting an offer. What's going on with Teofimo Lopez, that's an offer. How do we know it's an offer? Well, if it was just Teo saying it, trust me, I wouldn't believe a damn word to come out of Teo's mouth. I know Teo say one thing one day and say another thing the next. I'm not going off anything Teo's saying. I'm going off of just Eddie Hearn, Turk Al-Sheikh, the man that's funding the fight. And I'm going off what these guys are saying, and it's very clear. Well, first off, Eddie Hearn admitted that Boots wasn't going to fight Virgil Ortiz. Now, you guys remember what happened with that, right? When he had the second fight with Karen, in my opinion, Boots did worse. Okay, I thought Boots was going to knock Karen out. His biggest criticism for the first fight was he didn't know how to cut the ring off. Well, apparently, when I watched that fight again, Karen did better. He did better. So, of course, Boots, and shout out to Boots, man. I really do like Boots, man. I like him. He don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't talk a lot of shit. He doesn't, I've always liked Boots, bro. But I'm gonna call out anybody I see fit as a fan, especially if I see hypocrisy. So I know after that fight with Karen, the first thing Boots immediately said was, yo, I don't know. I think I need to go to 154. Right? Yeah, remember, I think I need to go to 154. And then it was around that time that Virgil Ortiz, Turk, they sent the offer with Virgil. Virgil was, and then Madrimov ended up stepping in. I think it was Madrimov ended up stepping in. And Boots came out and was like, yo, I'm not interested in that fight because I'm trying to unify. Okay, great. All right, bro. Ain't nobody got a problem. I know I didn't have a problem with that. He's already at 147, right? He's a champion at 147. He's trying to unify against Brian Norman. Look, when you are in your division and you're doing your own division shit, I understand. But there's also caveats to everything, right? He had just said that I think I should go to 154. Plus, we all know Boots is a big boy, which is another thing that's so weird about this whole situation. And I'm gonna circle back to what I think could be going on with Boots and Teo. And I said this the other day, and HOD was like, nah, I don't think that's what it is. But I'm starting to think that's what it is. But going back to after that fight, he said, yo, maybe I should go to 154. And then when they offered him the Virgil fight, he was like, no, like Eddie Hearn was like, nah, he's gonna unify. All right, fine. Some people still think he ducked Virgil. Is it a duck? In my opinion, not really. Not really, because Virgil was asking him for a fight at 154. Boots hasn't campaigned at 154. Some might say the same for Teo, right? But there's a difference. Then I believe the first time the Teo was brought to the table was around that time too as well. Okay? And like I said, they went to go to unify with Stanionis, or they wanted to take the Stanionis fight. No problem with that. Here's why this is a little bit different. Here's why this is different. Because I saw somebody say today, "Oh man, I don't blame Jaron." Yo, these are the three excuses I'm hearing, and none of them make any sense. By the way, none of them make any sense. Let's go over the three excuses that I'm seeing. Number one, Tio don't sell. Okay, we went over this just last week. Yeah, Tio doesn't sell. I ain't gonna lie, Tio don't sell, and Boots don't sell that much either. And it doesn't matter when the Turk is involved, because the Turk is paying the Turk is losing money on these events. He didn't even promote the May 2nd card. He's losing money on this. And he pays a lot of these guys up front. And he's the reason why we're getting certain fights. Because without the Turk, we would be hearing things like, oh, well, he can't fight this guy because they're on the opposite side of the street, or they got a different promoter. He's eliminating that. He's eliminating a lot of that because he's going up to these promoters. And that's why a lot of these promoters are so-called squashing their beef on camera, right? Because look, man, if you say I don't like you and you don't like me and we both got fighters, right? But then you got some guy that comes along in the room and it's like, yo, everybody just calm down, bro. All right, look, I'm going to pay your fighter. I'm going to pay your fighter. I'll pay your fee. I'll pay your fee. I'll pay for everything. All of a sudden, now the promoter's kind of like, oh, shit, really? Okay, we're all going to make money. This is okay. Yeah, I don't really hate the guy that much now, right? But if he wasn't there, they would be arguing over you know, is it going to be shown on the zone? Is it going to be over here? Is it going to be a joint venture? You know, who's the A side? Who's the B side? Even though there's a B and A side with the Turk, it kind of eliminates a lot of that because the Turk is just he's paying everybody a handsome salary for them to fight. So when a person says you don't sell, okay, who's paying for the fight? Turk? Okay, well, you can't really use that. He's going to pay you what you want. He's going to pay you up front. Name me one fight that you think the Turk made money on as far as pay-per-view sales go. Let's not forget, he put on that big pay-per-view card with a lot of good fights on the card, and he only charged $20-something for that pay-per-view. Do you think they actually made money off that? If that was PBC, that would have been $90-something, bro. It would have been $90-something if PBC did that pay-per-view. But no, he put it on for like $20-something. And I believe that was the pay-per-view with Shakur and the electrician and everything else, right? So saying like the person doesn't sell, like the Turk eliminates that. That's number one, okay? Second thing, I saw someone say is like, yo, I wouldn't fight him either. I'm at 147, do you, right? Okay, well, let's look at the landscape real quick, man, because, you know, last I checked, Pacquiao is coming back and is fighting Barrios, right? Pacquiao's coming back, Manny Pacquiao, the legend, right? He's fighting Barrios for the belt. Now, how the hell did he end up on the WBC rank? What is he, number 5 or it's the standings, bro. All right. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how a man could not literally be fighting for years and come back and be ranked in the top 10, but that's Manny Pacquiao. So we're going to give him a pass. All right. He's going to be fighting Mario Barrios, right? Brian Norman Jr., I believe, is fighting the Asian dude over in Japan. I don't even know if it's going to be in Japan, but I know he's fighting him, right? Boots, right? Boots is with Eddie Hearn. Here's why it's different with Tio, because they told you in advance what they were trying to do. They told you in advance. When the Turk put up on the Ring magazine, he said, yo, and like I said, the way he was talking, and I want to see if I can find it. I literally just saw when I was watching, I think it was Lives Punch the other day, he showed that tweet with the picture on there. And it shows the Turk basically like anticipating who was going to win. So basically in his mind, you know, Devin was going to beat Jose and Ryan was going to beat Rolly and Tio was going to beat Barboza. How do I know? Because when you look at the wording, the verbiage, right? This is before the fight. He's talking as if these fights already happened. And he's like, Ryan versus Devin 2 gets winner of Tio versus Boots. That's why it's different, because this is not like it came out of nowhere. This is the second time. It's the second time they've put Tio on the table for Boots, right? And let's not forget that around that time, the first time, Virgil was also offered. Now, to give Boots credit, because you know I'm not gonna shit on Boots, man. I've always been a Boots fan, but something's weird here. Technically, you should want to fight Tio. Really should. He'd be all right. He'd be, whether you like him or hate him, he'd be the best person on his resume. Okay, whether you want to think he's undisputed or not at 135, fine. He definitely was lineal at 135, right? Lineal at 140, right? That's called the man that beat the man that beat the man that beat the man. Two division, right? Who has he fought that has a resume like that? I'm trying to think. I don't think. I think Stanionis might have been the best person Boots fought so far, which has always been a part of the criticism with him, right? Even going back to Bud when he was going to fight Bud supposedly, or they were trying to get him to fight Bud, right? But I think about this and I'm like, okay, they told you in advance, so you can't be like, I'm shocked. I didn't know they were going to offer me TL, bro. You knew that. They were talking about it for months, right? So that's number one. Number two, Boots is bigger than TL. Boots can fight orthodox southpaw. He's big as hell. He could be at 160 easily. In my opinion, he could be fighting at 160. When Boots rehydrates, the man is huge. And I think he's got the tools and the tools to beat anybody, really. All these guys are elite, in my opinion, bro. When it comes down to the elite, these are all close. And stylistically, too, he fits nicely with T.O. because I've seen Boots do everything. Not only that, but in the first 3 rounds against Stanionis, go back and look at the punch stats, bro. I was amazed. I even made a video about it. Boots threw, I don't know how many punches the first 3 rounds, bro. I mean, I was amazed here when I was going it over with HOD. I'm like, bro, this dude threw like I think it was like 80-something punches the first round, like 70-something punches the second round, like almost 90 punches the third round. And when you went, he was starting to increase his output. So the man was increasing his output as the fight was going on. I'm like, yo, Boots is a bad boy, right? But I'll tell you what I think it is. And Eddie Hearn actually said something the other day, or I don't know if it was yesterday or whatever, but it went back to what I said when me and HOD was talking the other day. I said, HOD, if he turns down the fight, it's not going to be because he's scared. It's probably going to be this. And I think it makes the most, but it still doesn't make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense. Just like I said that I feel like Devin Haney played it extra safe against Jose Ramirez, right? I was giving Devin Haney credit. I said, yo, I think he played it extra safe, a little bit too safe, but he played it extra safe because he really wanted to secure the Devin fight. If he and he had a long layoff, right? He had a long layoff. So you want to be extra safe. You want to make sure you win the fight so you can secure that Devin, the Ryan Garcia rematch, right? So I was giving Devin a pass there, but but then I was like, yo, that's still not a good enough excuse for that type of performance, right? So even though I think this is why Boots probably isn't, it's still not an excuse, but this is what I think. Because I don't know what else it could be. Y'all tell me. Can't be the money. They knew months in advance. Just the second time. You know it's got some damn truth to it because, like I said, you got channels that hate T.O., bro. They hate T.O. And these dudes are over here making videos like, I hate to say it, but yeah, this is the second time. Boots, he's not fighting him. I think that it's the weight. I think that when I looked at Jaron Boots Ennis in his last fight against Stanionis, he looked weight drained. I don't care what a fighter says, bro. They could say all day, I made weight. They could say all day, I feel good. We know as boxing fans, we can visibly see how a person looks when they step on the scale. The man looked really dehydrated. He looked like, you got to understand, Boots is very, very big for 147, bro. Very big. Very big. He could be fighting at 154 easily. When he moves up, I'm going to say when he moves up to 154, you're going to see he's going to be bigger than most of those guys once he rehydrates. But I'm thinking maybe he thinks if he fights Teo, he's not going to have a good weight cut and it'll affect his performance. And what's kind of crazy is that's literally almost, and I said this the other day, that's literally almost what Eddie Hearn just said. Eddie Hearn was like, he thinks he's going to underperform. Now, I don't know what that means by underperform. I don't know what, like what do you mean? Like, you're going to sleep on Teo? Like, you shouldn't sleep on nobody. It's one of the issues I have with Teo, by the way. When Teo's fighting somebody who we hardly don't know or is hardly that tested, those are the ones you got to watch out for because they seem to give Teo problems. But when there's a fight, when Teo's fighting somebody like, damn, this guy's going to kill Teo or this guy's going to beat Teo, every single time that's happened, bro, he's beat the guy easily. Love him, hate him, whatever. But going back to what people were saying to me on my comments, bro, when I say I like Teo, I mean in the ring. I don't even have to explain myself, but that's like saying, do you think all Tank fans disrespect and beat up on women? Oh, I like Tank. Oh, so that means you don't respect your baby mother and you beat her up on camera. Do you know how that sounds? No, of course not. They probably like him for what he does in the ring, right? I've been following Teofimo Lopez way before he fought Loma, bro. But just because I like a fighter, I do not inherit their politics. I do not inherit anything. In the ring. That's it. I don't know how many times I got into it with people, but then I've also said I blame nobody but Teo. Teo is such a troll and says the most craziest, disrespectful shit at times that I don't blame some of the people that when you tell them, hey, I fucks with Teo, the first thing they probably think is, yo, is he racist, bro? Like when a person says, yeah, I voted for Trump. I don't know why. There's like a narrative out there that if you vote for Trump, like you're racist when more Latinos and black have voted for the man, but that's here nor there. But still, it's something like that. It's like you tell them and they automatically think that that's you. That's not, I don't rock with anything the man says. I rock with him in the ring. One of the things I can tell you this right here is now it looks like the way things are looking that we might get Devin Haney. Okay. I already told you how I felt about that. The same thing I'm going to say about Ryan, I'm going to say about Devin, okay? So this way, y'all don't think I'm just getting on Devin. This shit goes for Ryan, too. Ryan shit the bed, bro. Okay, Ryan got clipped. He got clipped. He got hit. He got dropped. But still, Ryan underperformed. Why do I say that? Because I've seen Ryan get dropped before, okay? He got dropped by Tank. He got dropped by, what's his name? Luke Campbell. And the Luke Campbell drop, the Luke Campbell knockdown was probably, I don't know. They're both bad. They're both bad. Like he got clipped clean in both of those. And when Ryan gets up, he usually comes forward and he's the aggressor. But for some reason, this time he gets clipped and he was just like, he shut his offense down. Now, multitude of factors, of course, the people are going to say, that's because he doesn't have the 0.5 Osterine in his system. I don't think it's that. I think that Rolly's a hard ass puncher. Okay. Tank then came out. I done told you how many times that when they asked Tank Davis, yo, who hits hard? The first person he says is Rolly. He says, Rolly hits hard. I'm not talking about his skills in the ring, but Rolly hits hard. And the one interview where Tank is like, when the guy said Rolly hits hard, the guy said, well, how do you know he hits hard? He hardly hits you, Tank, which is true. Like Rolly hardly landed anything flush on Tank, but Tank says, I could feel it. I can feel it when I'm blocking the punches, the impact. He's a strong puncher. Rolly had also beat Ryan, I think 2 times in the amateurs. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there was a year off, but it don't matter. The fact of the matter is I'm getting on Ryan. I don't think you should be rewarded for having a bad performance. If Teo does some crazy shit, bro, the day he has a crappy performance or whatever he does, bro, if you think for 1 second I'm not going to come on here and say something, you really don't know me, bro. You really don't know me, bro. If I ever see T.O. fuck around and be evasive for 12 rounds and act like he don't want to be in the ring, bro, watch what I do. Watch what I do. I'm not going to let that go. So I don't think you should be rewarded. However, if Boots is not going to fight him, now we start looking at other fights. I will say this to keep it 100 though. And I know the other Teofimo fans had got, I'm going to say a few of them because there's not a whole bunch of Teofimo Lopez fans. But when I said this a couple of months ago, they got mad at me. And I said, I don't care what y'all think, bro. This is what I really think. I don't think he wants to fight Keyshawn, bro. All right? I don't think so. I'm not saying he's scared. I'm just saying that Keyshawn's a bad matchup for anybody. He's a bad matchup for Tank. He's a bad matchup for Shakur. I hope he moves up and fights Richardson Hitchens. He made it known the other day. So if you heard what Keyshawn Davis said the other day on Fight Hype, shout out to Fight Hype, he said that he felt like T.O. was terrified of him. He also said that he came out and said that he didn't like Richardson Hitchens and he wanted to apologize for that because he felt like he shouldn't have said that. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me because you literally tweeted out, y'all some weird ass ninjas. So, I mean, that's like me saying, man, this fucking Shadow Ghost is a fucking bitch ass motherfucker, right? And I tweet that. And then you interview me and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, I really shouldn't have said that because, like, you know, nobody was really supposed to know that. Why'd you say it though, bro? You put it on X, my guy. Like everybody sees it, bro. And stop erasing shit, man. Will y'all stop erasing y'all tweets, bro? I mean, it was supposed to be a lot of money for Boots, bro, according to Eddie Hearn. For both of them. For both of them. You know, hey, brother, first off, thank you for being here too, by the way. Thank you for being here. Let me make this clear before I say what I'm going to say. Look, man, I don't care who likes who, bro. I don't care. I don't know why people have this in their head, like, I don't like you if you don't like a certain fighter that I like. Bro, that is so immature to me. It's kind of crazy, bro. Do you really think I don't like Cowboy fans? Do you really think I meet somebody and go, yo, who's your favorite? Cowboy? Oh, fuck that, bro. Nope, I can't hang out with you. Nope, can't come over for dinner. Nope. That is crazy, bro. That is crazy. Bro, if you like Devin, if you like Keyshawn, I don't care. I tell you who I like, and that's it. I don't literally hate you for that. Some of y'all the way y'all talk to me sometimes, like y'all don't like what? You don't like me because I like a certain thing. Come on, bro. What are we in elementary school? You like certain fighters, I like certain fighters. Okay? But getting back to this comment right here, good. No money for T.O. Bamass. A couple months ago, I saw Richardson Hitchens doing an interview, right? And I did a live. And I said in that live, I said, you know, T.O., I don't agree with that shit. I don't think you have to do that to get fights. And I think it's going to hurt you business-wise. Because I saw people in the chat during that time, they were in the comment section saying, no black fighter should fight T.O., right? And I think somebody else had said that. One of the fighters kind of like co-signed that. And as much as I understand, because like I said, bro, I argued with HLD for almost an hour and he couldn't understand. He was like, why are you so upset? I'm like, bro, because like, how the fuck, bro? Like my son is black and you want me to just like, I take offense to that. Well, you didn't say that about your son. It don't matter. It's just, I just didn't like it. That doesn't mean that. I just didn't like it. All right. That's it. I was just voicing how I felt. With that being said, as a boxing fan, do you really want to sit there and go, well, they shouldn't fight each other? You should want T.O. to fight. This is where my disconnect is coming with a lot of y'all, bro. I get it. If you don't like T.O., I get it, bro. He says a lot of crazy shit. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. He says some crazy shit, bro. He likes to. I always said Tio is that type of dude where if you're like, yo, don't touch that remote, he's like, what, this remote? You know, he's like that. He could be very annoying, trolling. He's pushing your buttons on purpose. I get it, bro. If you don't like Tio, I get it. It's all good. Where my disconnect with y'all comes from is when you guys start saying you're glad he didn't get, like, you should be wanting to see him get beat up. That's where my disconnect comes. And then on top of that, when y'all say good, he doesn't get a check. Boots don't get a check now. And according to what they were saying, Turkey's mad because it was a lot of money. I just think that's a little bit excessive, don't you think, as a boxing fan? One of the fighters I'm really not big on is Richardson Hitchens, right? I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I don't know him. I just don't like him. I mean, stylistically, he's not a bad fighter. Richard Hitchens is a very good fighter. So I'm not saying I don't like him because I don't think he's a good. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's got a good jab. He's got good reach. He's got good size for 140. When he moves up to 147, the way that he fights, I feel like that's not even going to affect him. He could very well become a champion at 147. It's just something about him. You know, like I always said there was something about Tyson Fury that I didn't like. I said, yeah, I like the fact that Tyson Fury believes in Jesus, but something about him rubs me the wrong way. And I said, you know, I can't control that. It's just me personally. So I understand if you just don't like Tio, bro. I get it, bro. But I don't understand the whole, like, well, you shouldn't want to see fights. This is where my disconnect is. Us as boxing fans, bro, whether you like the fighter or not, you should want to see fights, right? When you sit there and go, good, his bitch ass don't get a paycheck. Well, neither does Boots, and it was supposed to be a lot of money. And not only that, but if you don't like Tio, in my opinion, I would like to think that if Boots fights Tio, I would like to think that a majority of the boxing public is probably going to favor Boots. I don't know, call me crazy, right? But I would like to think that the majority of people are going to think that Boots is going to beat him. Why? Okay, well, Boots is bigger, way bigger, even though size doesn't always mean everything, but he's way bigger. He could fight southpaw. He could fight orthodox. He's got stamina for days. He's a power puncher. He's a knockout puncher. He's got power in both hands. He goes to the body very well. He's a good counter puncher. It seems to me, he gets more energy as the fight goes on. Also, Jaron Boots Ennis is one of those rare fighters that likes to stand in between rounds. You know, them fighters that stand in between rounds, they don't sit down. And that's all mental because, like, when you're sitting there and you're in a round and you guys are going back and forth and you guys are exhausted and you go and you sit back down and your trainer comes around and tries to give you advice and you look up and you see your other opponent just chilling like this, standing, that's psychological. Because you're over here like, yo, I'm dying over here, bro. I could damn near get my breath. This man's not even sitting down. So I would like to think Boots is favored. But my disconnect with y'all is like, I get it. You don't like Tio. You think he's a bum or whatever. You should want to see him fight, though. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you should want to see him fight and go for him. I'm saying I'm gonna take a venture to guess, Keith, right? That you think Boots would beat Tio, right? I don't think nobody's gonna look at you and go, "Oh, you out your mind for thinking Boots beats Tio, bro." Most people are gonna think that Boots beats Tio. Okay, so my thing is, why don't you want to see him get his ass whooped? That's my disconnect, bro. That's my disconnect. And I said this the other month about Tio, bro. It pissed me off. It pissed me off because I said, bro, I think you're better than that, bro, and you don't have to do this shit. Okay, we're not living in the early 90s where everything, when you make it about race, it sells, bro. There's so many different ways you could promote yourself in 2025 with social media. You don't have to be a dickhead. You don't got to be an asshole, bro, just to sell, bro. There's plenty of other avenues that you could do. You're a good fighter. What you do in the ring speaks for itself. All the other shit is just crazy to me. I don't agree with it. And I said it was going to come back to bite him in the ass as far as business goes. Because I just don't think it's a... What did I say? I said I feel like Tio uses... like if you're driving an old car and they make newer models. It's like, bro, they make... That's an old model, bro. Like you can get a lot of miles on miles on the gallon with this right here, and it's cheaper, and you're saving money. You see what I'm saying? So I get it, bro. If you don't like Tio, bro, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I get on Devin all the time. I don't really hate Devin. I actually like Bill, by the way. Let me make that clear. I like Bill. I've talked to Bill before, handful of times. I know he probably doesn't remember me because he talks to everybody every day. But I remember leading up to the Kambosos fight, I was talking to Bill. I was talking to Tio Sr. Like a lot of these guys, the beef isn't really like what people see it is, right? I like a lot of the shit is for just camera, bro. Guys seen the video where after this right here? Yeah, it is, bro. It is. And I hate to say it because I like Boots, bro. I really do. But what can I say? I can't make excuses for him. You see what I'm saying? If Tio did, bro, let me tell you something, bro. The day Tio openly, like, I was like, yo, Tio, you didn't want to fight, but Matias, right? Matias is the only fight that was ever offered to Tio that he didn't take. Right? But at the time, I think it was the money thing, and at the time, who they had lined up. It's not like this is the second time you don't have much options and then you turn it down. I mean, if Tio, bro, I would be on his ass, bro. Like, you'd be like, nah, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Because I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm not one of those people that just tell you what you like to hear. That's why, like, a lot of my friends get mad at me because I'm not I'm the first one to tell you, bro, like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I'm not just gonna rock with you with that, bro. I think that's stupid as fuck what you're doing. Like, I'm one of those guys because I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? I'm not just gonna be like, I got your back just because I got your back. Nah, bro. Like, why are you doing it like this? Why are you talking to your girl like that? Why are you like that? Like, that's how I am. If Tio did that, bro, believe me, bro, there is no excuse. I'm trying to find out the best thing that I could think of. And like I said, the closest thing I could think of is I don't think he's scared. I don't think any of these guys are scared. I don't think Devin's scared of anybody. I don't think Tio's scared of anybody. I mean, like I said, bro, when you fight for a living, it's kind of crazy. Like, how many of y'all really think fighters are scared? Let's really think about this for a second. This is what they do for a living. So if you're scared to get in the ring, you wouldn't be a fighter, man. I do think that some fighters look at other fighters and go, okay, stylistically, that's not fucking easy. That's not easy. And maybe if I go this route, which is still a duck, right? It's still a duck. But does that mean the man is terrified, bro? Does that mean the man is shaking in his boots, right? Because he don't want to, no pun intended. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's that. But I will tell you that this is the second time. This is the second time. Now, we might be getting Devin. And what did I say? I'm still going to hold my opinion on what I said. I feel like Devin fought scared, right? Now, I did come out the other day and I gave him credit. I said, bro, maybe he wasn't just really that scared. Maybe he was just being extra protective, extra careful, because he had all that time off. You know, Jose Ramirez isn't a bum, right? Even though I do think stylistically he was handed to him on a silver platter. But I don't think the man is a bum. I think maybe they thought, yo, let's play this safe, right? Let's play this safe. If I win, I get that Ryan rematch. So I was giving Devin credit for that. But at the end of the day, I'm still disappointed as a fight fan, right? I like Boots, right? I like his style. I think as far he doesn't drink or smoke or talk all that crazy shit. In the ring, I think he's exciting. I think he's one of those fighters that he comes to hurt you, right? I've already said, like, I feel like there's like different categories I put fighters in. So I have a fighter where I feel like that fighter isn't necessarily trying to hurt you. They're trying to win round by round. Then you have other fighters that are trying to hurt you, like Crawford, Boots, Virgil Ortiz, certain fighters. I feel like they're trying, even David Benavidez. David Benavidez doesn't have a lot of punching power. But when you see that, when you see that kid fight, bro, he's trying to hurt you, bro. You can call it pity pats all you want. He's throwing like 200 pity pats on your ass, and he's marching forward, and he's going to the body, and he's walking you down, right? He's trying to hurt you. Then you have other fighters that I call them the I feel like they more focus on winning. Let's just win this round. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I just feel like at some point you should feel like you want to mount an offense and not the type of offense where you're like to me, there's a stark contrast, bro. There's a big difference when a person mounts an offense because they didn't throw a lot of punches that round and the bell is about to ring, so they need to do some activity. How many times have we seen this, bro? How many times have we seen the 10-second bell come, the one that goes like, and then you see one of the fighters just unload a flurry, right? Like a combination, right? He's doing that because he's trying to steal the round, right? I tend to don't think that that's a good idea. If you were doing what you was doing the whole round, you shouldn't have to steal the round. You know what I mean? If it's a close round, you know what I mean? But how many times have we seen fighters? There's a handful of them, bro. Y'all can't say I'm bugging, bro. You can't say how many fighters have you seen that the round comes out, they hardly do nothing the whole round? Whether they're conserving their energy or not, they hardly do anything. And then there's 40 seconds left in the round. And somebody yells out 40 seconds, and then they start picking it up. And then when that 10-second thing comes, they throw a quick flurry, right? They're trying to steal that round. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, you could just be tired and that's your way of doing it. But for me, if you were just doing what you were supposed to do, you wouldn't have to worry about stealing the round unless it's razor close. You got dropped. The other guy got dropped at the same time. It is what it is. But I know fighters that have done that the whole fight. They just try to steal the end of the round. And they're not doing much the round before. And why do they try to steal the end of the round? Because people that look at fights and people that judge fights, it's always the last thing that they see that sticks out. If I fought somebody twice in one day, if I fought someone at 9 a.m. and I beat them up at 9 a.m., I'm just saying, and then we fought again at 2 p.m. And in the 2 p.m. he got me, right? Probably the majority of people are gonna say overall he probably won because the last thing they remember is that second time that we fought. Because you just go off your memory and what's more recent. That's why a lot of times when people come back in fights later on and we go, nah, he beat that guy, and somebody's like, wait a second, bro, are you negating what happened the first 6 rounds? Like the first half of the fight, bro. The first half of the fight, the dude was getting pieced up. Then, I don't know, he got dropped, he got tired or whatever. The other guy started coming back, right? Well, a lot of the times we remember the second half. So I know what I've said in regards to Devin. I don't hate Devin. I don't know Devin, but I don't think you should be rewarded for having bad performances. That goes for Ryan too. But at the end of the day, who the hell am I? I mean, who the hell am I? I saw Caleb Plant. What was his name? Oh my goodness, what was his name, bro? I saw a guy get a shot at Caleb Plant for his title. And I was following at that time. I don't know why I was following him. Was that when like the David Benavidez beef was like with David and Caleb? I don't know. All I know is I was paying attention, and all of a sudden, this guy gets a title shot to fight Caleb Plant. And when I saw his name, I'm like, hold up, bro. I was just looking at the rankings last week. I go back to the rankings. That guy's magically number 3, number 4. But the week before, he wasn't there. And I can tell you his name right now. So, I mean, who am I to say who deserves what or whatever? Because at the end of the day, it's more than that. It comes down to if people want to see it. There is history with Devin and Tio. There's history there. I just want to see an exciting fight, bro. That's where I'm at. If you don't like Tio, bro, I get it, bro. I don't actually blame some of y'all. In fact, if I didn't follow his whole career, I don't know, who knows? I probably would have switched up by now and said, fuck him. You know what I mean? I give him a lot of passes, but like I said, it's no different than I'm an Eagles fan, bro. I'm an Eagles fan. So just because I like the wide receiver or the quarterback, I'm not inheriting all the negative shit that they do, though. You know what I mean? Keep that in mind. I'm against that racism shit, bro. And y'all that watch me know that, bro. Y'all should know that, bro. You know how many times I went at other Latinos for saying some stupid shit in the chat, bro. I don't really like any of that shit, to be honest with you. I really don't. I hate that. I am one of these motherfuckers that's like, I wish we all just got along. That's really how I am, bro. I hate it, bro. I don't like it because I get put in a bad place, bro. I get put in a bad place because I'm Puerto Rican and then my son is black and then a lot of Mexicans watch me. I'm always in the fucking middle. And it's like, I feel like if I don't say something here, they look at me weird. It's like, bro, nah, I just don't like any of that. Why can't we just go off? Why can't we just go off who's better in the ring, bro? And then that's when T.O. makes shit worse because he does what he does. Like, I'm not going to defend that. Like, I'm over here saying I don't like that shit. And he goes out and makes it worse with the shit that he says. But in the ring, I fucks with him, bro. All right. Caleb Plant. And that's another thing that I don't like too, is I get the business of boxing, but how many of y'all think that Devin should have just fought Ryan in a rematch? They should have just went, okay, they both had time off, bro. It fucked everything up, man. It did. It fucked everything. And now they're trying to do it again with the Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo fight. We know they got history, bro. Caleb Plant, he's really black. Caleb Plant smacked Jamal Charlo, smacked him. They already got history, bro. And what are they doing? They're putting a pay-per-view. They're having Jamal fight this guy. They're having Plant fight this guy. And watch something happen, bro. Watch something happen. Watch somebody get clipped, somebody lose or whatever. The same shit happened with Ryan and Devin. I get what they were trying to do, but I'm really upset that May second card turned out like that. You don't understand. As a boxing fan, I'm upset. I really wanted that fight card to do well, bro. Virgil Ortiz was there and was like, yo, you know what? This shit look cool. Everybody's pulling up in vehicles and shit. You know, I'll fight in Alcatraz. Like, when I start thinking of that, I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing. Take the, old prison and, I don't know, put a pay-per-view on there. It's good for boxing. I just want boxing, you know what I mean? I think these fighters should get paid handsomely. I don't care whether I like your style or not. You should get paid handsomely. When you get hit in the brain, that shit don't repair itself. At least I don't think so. Who was his name, by the way? Who was his name? Let me tell you right here. Caleb Truax. Y'all know who Caleb Truax is? Caleb Truax. I saw Caleb Plant out of nowhere. Caleb Truax got a title shot, and I was looking at the rankings the weeks before, and when I heard he was going to fight him, I said, hold on a second. He must be from the other sanctioning bodies or something. And I remember I went on the rankings and I was shocked. He magically had appeared at like number 3. And he didn't do anything. He didn't do nothing. He just appeared number 3. So I'm not shocked when Manny Pacquiao comes back, and it is Manny Pacquiao. But going back to Boots, bro, look at this. And this is why I actually see other channels that don't like T.O. that are coming out saying what they're saying, because when you look at the landscape, what is the excuse, bro? My whole thing is this, man. I agree with Floyd Mayweather. Work smarter, not harder. Right? If I know in my heart, in my mind, if I think that my opponent is easy work, if I thought that and I knew that I can get a bag doing it, so in my mind, I'm like, man, I know I could beat this guy and I'm going to get a bag. Shit, let me see how much I can get, right? I probably won't even take that much punishment this fight. You can't tell me fighters don't think like that. You can't tell me fighters aren't like, man, I'll beat the fuck out of him, bro. How much you gonna give me? Psst, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'll beat the fuck out of him, bro. And I'm gonna make this bag shit. This shit gonna be easy as hell. Now, sometimes that shit don't always work out because when they go do that and then it's an upset, I get it, but you can't tell me fighters don't think like that. So I'm just trying to, man, I really do like Boots, but like I said, I wouldn't make an excuse for Tio either, bro. I don't care who it is, bro. Just like when the whole Crawford and Boots thing was going on, and I wanted them to fight, and we would talk about the Boots and Crawford fight, and I always would say, bruh, there's no way you think Boots is gonna run over Crawford, do you? Like, I just stylistically, I just don't, you know, I think some fighters are underrated as far as I think we put a lot of focus on the resume, which there's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to put focus on the resume, right? But I don't like it when we try to tear down these fighters and don't and take away their like. That's another thing too, bro. I can't take away what Devin has done, bro. I can't, bro. I could dislike Devin all I want. The kid is the youngest undisputed champion, I think. Who cares? Who cares how I think he got it? Who cares? Who cares if I think he fought Prograis at the right time? It don't matter, bro. His accomplishments is his accomplishments. And the moment I start shitting on his accomplishments, the fighter that I like is easy to do that to them as well. I understand the grifters, bro. The grifters in this boxing shit. Y'all don't know what a grifter is. I understand the grifter, bro. The grifter is the guy that's just doing the shit for just the money, bro. And so their whole shit is PBC or fuck Latinos or fuck black people or whatever it may be, right? That's just their whole recipe because they are literally speaking to a group of people who, for the majority, feel that way. And they know that. So they're like, okay, I know these guys feel this way about Deontay Wilder, so I'm going to do this. Or I know these guys feel this way about Canelo, so I'm going to do that, right? I'm not talking about them, bro. All right? I'm just talking about the majority of boxing fans where is it hard for you to criticize a fighter that you like? That's all I'm saying. Is it really that hard? Because it's really not that hard for me. I think I do it too much, bro. But if you are a Boots fan like myself, like I said, I have a favorite fighter in every weight class. 130 Raymond Ford, 135 Keyshawn Davis, 140 Teofimo Lopez, 147 Jaron Ennis Boots, 154 Virgil Ortiz, 160. It could still be Adames. Janibek is the man at that. And I'm not saying who's the best. It's who I like seeing. You see what I'm saying? So I like Tio, right? But I know Hitchens is good. I like Keyshawn Davis, but I know Shakur is there. I know Tank's there. I'm just telling you what I gravitate to. Every weight class, I have somebody that I kind of gravitate to. I'm a Boots fan, bro. It doesn't make any sense to me. Especially when it's the second time, and now you have Eddie Hearn, who the guy that I did not want to believe at first, because to be honest with you, I don't believe Eddie Hearn, bro. I lost respect for Eddie Hearn when I lost a little bit of respect for Eddie Hearn when whatchamacallit tested dirty. Okay? He had a fighter that tested dirty, and he still tried to get the fight to go forward. I forgot who it was. The guy tested dirty. Was it Conor Ben? And he still tried to get him to fight. And I thought that was just a cruddy ass move, bro. Cruddy ass move, because if your fighter or whoever, the other fighter fucks around and gets put in the hospital or something bad happens to him, bro, you look you look crazy, bro. You should sit back and go, yo, my fighter fucked up. Let him take the fine or whatever. So that just goes to show me the colors. Like, obviously you care about one thing. You're a promoter, but still, bro. It's starting to backfire a little bit. Well, and this is what I'm starting to see, like with the turkey shit. Well, here goes the thing. The first thing with the turkey thing, Tycho, if you remember, right? A couple weeks ago, I was like this. Remember when the whole Crawford and T.O. shit was getting out of hand, right? And I remember these dudes was arguing about Tank and Shakur, right? They were shitting on Shakur because they were saying, well, look, Tank is one of the faces of boxing, right? I would say he is in America. Yeah, he is, right? And they were like, well, Shakur, look at him. They're walking out in his last fight. And yeah, I know. And I'm listening to them talk, and I'm like, so where are they going with this? And they're like, yeah, well, he's not gonna bring nothing to the table. And I'm like, brother, last I checked, the Turk was gonna pay for that. So once the Turk says, if you say I don't want to fight this guy, why? Well, because I'm asking for $5 million. That's why they don't want to give me $5 million. And they're on the other side of the street, and I want it to be on my network, my network, the one I represent. Let's just say these issues are happening, and you have this guy come in and go, hey, listen, y'all ain't fighting over there, y'all ain't fighting over there. I'm gonna pay you a bag. You gonna fight in Riyadh. Yeah, you gonna fight over in my country where you don't need to get a permit. I run the shit over there. I pay both of y'all, whatever. I pay for the flights. I pay for everything, right? At that point, both of your promoters are like, shit, you don't got to come out of pocket? Yeah, I don't really hate this guy. Oh, we cool. Remember that time we were hanging out? And now they're cool because this man's putting up the money, right? And at first I was like, yo, we're going to get a lot of fights. But then you started seeing fighters catch on. They start catching on. They're like, wait a second. All I got to do is show up. All I got to do is show up. And then you got some of them that are like half-ass performances, half-ass training camps, coming in looking sloppy and stuff because in their mind, they're like, shit, I'm getting a good-ass bag anyway, right? Now, of course, we're not seeing that from the top athletes, the top upper echelon. Because for these guys, regardless of the paycheck, they're still building their legacy, and taking an L is, you know, some of these guys look at an L like it's the end of their career when it's not the end of your career. Floyd Mayweather put that shit in your head. You could bounce back from that. Look at Barrios, bro. Barrios took some losses, and he's a champion at 147. He's about to fight Manny Pacquiao. A legend. But then you look at like what happened with William Skull. Even if you are a defensive fighter, bro, I don't feel like that's an excuse for you to put on a performance like that. That's all I'm saying. I think we live in a world today where if the common boxing fan, bro, if you say to them, yo, have you seen this guy fight? Nah, explain him to me. How does he fight? He's a defensive fighter. As soon as you say that, he's a defensive fighter, you got these people that think, oh, he's a defensive fighter. Oh, okay. So he's got no power. He's scared to engage. He's gonna be on his back foot all day. Like, that's what people think in their heads. They're like, yeah, oh, he's gonna do that all day, isn't he, huh? And I'm like, no, bro. No. Like, that's like when I'm not blaming Floyd. I'm just saying Floyd had a humongous impact on this game. Humongous impact where people try to imitate him, try to be like him, and they can't. They don't have the numbers, they don't have the personality, they don't have the business sense, and they damn sure don't got the damn skills to be doing it like him. So they come off like a knockoff, bro. Like a knockoff. Like when somebody, it's not a Nike shoe, it's a bikey shoe, and the swoosh is like sideways and shit. It's like, bro, I see what you're trying to do. It's not the same. That's not McDonald's. You know what I mean? And so I feel like when people hear defensive fighters, bro, they think, oh, he's just another pity pat guy that doesn't want to engage. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. There's plenty of defensive fighters that'll knock you out, bro. Shit. Would you consider, now he's an enigma, but would you consider Roy Jones offensive or defensive? Probably both, right? I remember Winky Wright. Man, he beat Tito Trinidad, my favorite fighter all time, Tito Trinidad. He beat Tito every round, bro. I was so mad that fight, bro. If there was one fighter that usually I would get emotional over, bro, that you could have called me a fanboy, that was Tito Trinidad, because he represented my people, and he got beat down that fight, bro. He couldn't get around that high guard that Winky had. He was trying to left hook through it, and he couldn't. But Winky had a high output. But you got these guys that sometimes fight for the Turk, and look, man, it did start to backfire, Tycho. I could tell you like that. But still, even with that being said, I can honestly say that I feel like we get more out of the Turk positively than we do negatively, at least from what I've seen. Yeah, not all those fights have we been dying to ask for, right? Not every single one of them are we like, yo, we've been asking for this for years. No, I'll agree with you, except for what? It was Fury and Usyk and Better Beef and Bivol, right? Even Adamas and Shiraz. I don't remember anybody asking for that, but that was a good fight, right? Bacoli and Jared Anderson. Yeah, nobody asked for that, but that was a good fight. Remember, I was big on Frank Sanchez, and when his ass lost, I was like, what the hell was I thinking, right? But at least we're getting fights, bro. So I ask, if you have the Turk that told you months ago, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it, bro. Here we go, right here. Here we go. Here we go. I found it. All that time, I could have just fucking, man, our technology is like that, bro. Damn, that Google AI is getting good, bro. Damn. Sooner or later, you ain't gonna be able to leave your couch. You can get everything here. All right, hold on, let me see. Here we go. This was when, I don't know when this was, but look. Look at that. Turk Al-Sheikh has declared, this is the Ring magazine, and the Ring magazine, Turk bought the Ring magazine, right? Turk Al-Sheikh has declared he wants to make Teofimo Lopez versus Jaron Boots in October on the same card as the Ryan versus Devin rematch. He would then like to match the winners and losers against each other in February. This was 18 weeks ago. January 19th. So why am I saying that? January 19th, because I'm not going to sit here and say somebody is afraid of somebody or this and that. All I'm saying is this, bro. Some of the people that are making excuses, you're not making any sense. I get it. You don't like Tio, bro. I get it, bro. Put that shit aside, though. What you're saying isn't making any sense, bro. Somebody was like, well, I mean, shit, he just came out of nowhere and beat Barboza, and now he's just supposed to fight this guy at 147. No, bro, they've been talking about this for months, and this isn't the first time. This is the second time this fight was brought to the table, brother. The second time. So what I will say is, I don't know what Boots is going to do. How do we know? I mean, all I'm saying, if I was Eddie Hearn, I pray and hope that in the background, he's working on something very, very good right now for Boots' sake, bro. Because we know Brian Norman is fighting the kid from Japan. We know Barrios is fighting Pacquiao. Pacquiao's already in his training camp, right? So what does that leave, right? Share screen. Okay. Y'all see that? Okay. So you got Rolly, right? Well, there's no point in for Jaron fighting Rolly. Rolly has got the WBA. What is it? The intern, the baby one, the Reggie belt, the baby WBA. Jaron is the WBA super, I believe, correct? So Jaron is IBF, WBA super, WBC. Barrios is going to be fighting Pacquiao. Brian Norman Jr. is fighting I don't get. I'm not being disrespectful with the European names, bro. I am horrible with the European and the Asian names, bro. I'm just horrible with names, bro. So I don't even try to pronounce them half the time. I just, because I don't want to mess nobody's name up. So you look underneath, you got Hitchens, Antoine Russell, Puello, and Teofimo. Hitchens is going to be fighting Cambosis. I know Antoine did an interview the other day. I still got to catch up on that. I know Puello just got done fighting Sandor Martin, I believe. Yeah, he had a close fight with Sandor Martin. Let's not forget that Puello beat Antoine and Sandor. So Puello was like a dark horse, bro. And then you got Tio. Oh yeah, speaking of Tio, bro, just to make sure that y'all know that I'm not just always like I'm so unfair and biased, bro. Like I said, I've argued with other Teofimo fans because I've told them to their face, bro. I don't think Keyshawn is a good matchup for Tio, bro. I think Keyshawn is dangerous for a lot of fighters. And I fuck with Keyshawn at 135. Just I don't know if it makes any sense. He's going to be fighting. He's fighting a De Los Santos, and then you got people trying to tear that down too. I don't like that either. You got these guys that don't like Keyshawn, so his last fight. Oh well, he's fighting a guy that whatever. They bring up the weight, they bring up the height. Now they want to bring up. Oh well, look, De Los Santos is he hasn't been in training camp, bro. Who was the one that said it was Shakur and Tio? Both came out and was like, yo, we all have injuries, bro. All right. All of us fight with injuries. Let's not act like we're not injured half the time. And then what's even worse, let's just say De Los Santos wins. Boy, they will turn that around so fast, bro. But yeah, let me see what these comments over here. I don't want it either, man. I don't. And look, this got nothing to do. And that's another thing, brother, too. Yeah, I don't like the racism either, bro. And like people think when I get on Devin, like I'm not, bro. I'm not. I'm trying to be logical here. Okay. How many of you guys thought that Devin was going to destroy Jose Ramirez? I thought, bro, I said leading up to the fight, you can go back to my lives. I said leading up to the fight that I was confident wholeheartedly, that Devin was going to do to him what he did to Prograis. I said wholeheartedly, Devin's going to destroy that man. And I broke down why I felt like that. I said, number one, I don't think Jose Ramirez is all that good. Because I think he's over the hill. But not only, even if he was in his prime, stylistically, he can't beat Devin. Devin has good ring IQ. Devin has good speed. Devin's got a good jab. And on top of that, Jose Ramirez needs to plant his feet before he fires. He's one of those fighters where he's got to plant his feet. And Devin, before you plant your feet, he's out of there, bro. So I was like, yo, he should destroy this man. I had Devin dropping him. I said, I don't know if Devin's going to stop him, but he should. That's how confident I was with Devin, bro. So as much as like I say shit about him, I had him smoking Jose Ramirez. I was like, this shit ain't even going to be close. The man is slow. The man is over the hill. Barboza done pieced this man up. I know styles make fights, but still. But I'm not being an asshole when I'm giving you my honest opinion. He, in my opinion, for all 12 rounds, he was evasive. So let's take this for here. He was evasive against Jose Ramirez, who was over the hill, who I call an over the hill champion. That's no disrespectful to the man. I feel like Tevin Farmer is a little bit over the hill, right? I don't think Tevin Farmer is in his prime, and I still think he might beat Kid Austin. That's not disrespect when I say that. It's just what I think. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Just because I think something doesn't mean the shit is true, bro. But I think Jose Ramirez is past his prime. I think the man got to set his feet to throw punches. I think the man, stylistically, ring IQ, defense, and offense. Yes, and offense. I favor Devin in every category. So if I see Devin acting like that, then how is he going to do when he fights Teo, even though styles do make fights? But then I did say, to Devin's credit, so as much as people like to say I shit on Devin all the time, I actually was, HLD was like, nah, man, don't give that motherfucker a pass. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm just being honest. Maybe a large part of that had to do with not so much him being scared, but more of trying to secure that Ryan fight. Because I watch fights multiple times, even the boring ones, right? And let's think about this for a second. When Devin fought Jose Ramirez, within the first 10 seconds of that bell ringing, Antonio Tarver was like, yo, what's wrong with him? Y'all remember? Like, they didn't even fight yet, bro. They're like 30 seconds in the ring. Antonio Tarver was like, what's wrong with him? Like, what's wrong with his feet? And it took me a second to look at it, but I kept going back, and I realized Devin is fighting from the traditional stance. He's not fighting with the shell, or how he has his shoulder like this with his arm up like that with the shell blocking like that. He was fighting traditionally textbook, right? I said, okay, that's got a lot to do with it, right? Because if you remember when he lost to Ryan, you remember when Bill, I was like, yo, bro, that was a famous, shout out to Bill Haney, man. That was like a famous argument, man. Bill Haney got like, you know how people got Hall of Fame fights? Bill Haney got Hall of Fame arguments, bro. If we were to do the top 5 Hall of Fame going back and forth on YouTube, Bill is like in 5, and we were to do top 10, Bill is like in 3 of them. You got the Bill and Adrian Broner. You got the Bill where he was talking shit about Bernard Hopkins, and Bernard Hopkins he took that shit for real. And you know Bernard was fucking serious, because when he saw Bill Haney, he did one of those OG things. You know what I mean? Y'all know how the OGs are, bro. They're not like these young kids that be like, yo, yeah, I'm going to make a lot of noise so everybody can see me. He walked straight up to Bill and was like, yo, when you're done doing that interview, come see me in the bathroom. It's real chill. And Bill was like, nah, you got something to say to me. You can say it right here, right? Because he knew. Bernard was trying to get your ass outside the camera, bro. But I remember when Devin lost to Ryan. Yeah, I remember when Floyd, because you know, I fucks with Floyd, but Floyd is a narcissist, bro. Floyd is always gotta be about Floyd, right? When who was he with, bro? I still got it recorded on my SSD somewhere. Who was it? Zab Judah? Nah, it couldn't have been Zab Judah, because Zab Judah is Devin's godfather, right? Yeah, it was somebody else, right? They were talking, Y'all seen that one where after Devin lost, it was Floyd Mayweather, and I got to get his name, bro. And they were talking about his performance, and Bill clicked on the live. And was mad at Floyd because he accused Floyd of a whole bunch of shit. And some of it was true. Some of it was true. Like, I understood why Bill was mad, bro. Come on, bro. His son just got beat up, bro. And you over here hanging out with the ops and fucking like telling them to like gain extra weight and shit and take the fine. You can't tell me Floyd didn't have something to do with that, bro. You can't tell me that. Come on now. So I understand why Bill was mad, right? So he's going off on Floyd, and then Floyd, of course, you know how like Floyd was trying to like be all nice and shit. He was trying to be all nice, and then he said something. Bill said something that pissed Floyd off, and that was it. Floyd was like, if you need me to train your son, just ask me. But he went into the whole jabbing part. You know, Devin jabs like an amateur. Floyd was like, Devin jabs like an amateur because when he jabs, he doesn't bring his hands back so he could block, right? Well, when you go back to the Jose Ramirez fight, it looks like they worked on that. I mean, he didn't throw enough punches for me to see, but I could tell you right off the bat, his stance was different, which is why it threw Antonio off. Antonio was like, what's wrong with his feet? What's wrong with the boy? It's because he's not standing in his stance. He's standing in a different traditional stance. And like I said, it could be a mixture of that, having time off or whatever. But still, it was a lackluster fight, and I don't think you should be rewarded for it. But at the end of the day, Ryan had a lackluster fight too. And Teo has had some lackluster fights in the past, bro. Come on now. I've always said about Teo, if there's one thing about Teo, bro, he fights somebody that you think he's going to knock out, that dude ends up giving him work, bro. And I don't know if it's a mental thing, if he's like just overlooking the dude, but then when it's somebody that you feel like, damn, yeah, he might got Teo's number, Teo always shows up. But there's history there. But I still would have liked to see the Boots fight, man. And still would like to see the Boots fight. Ain't nothing in stone. Yeah. Just the past couple of weeks, JC. The past couple of weeks, due to my schedule and everything. And I did want to talk about this today because I didn't know if I was gonna have enough time later on. But yeah, bro, I'm a little shocked, bro. I don't know when your comment was there. I was just rambling on. Hold on one second. Before I get out of here, if somebody wants to say something real quick, you I guess you can come on here and say something. If anybody got something to say, if you think I'm bullshitting or capping for something, like I don't know, man. I know that this fight is a fight that I wanted to watch because weren't they gonna put this on the Canelo undercard too? Wasn't Boots and Teo supposed to be the undercard of the Canelo fight? Because that's one of my big gripes with that whole thing, bro. They better have a fire card, bro. You've been pushing this whole Crawford and Canelo shit, bro. I get it. Some people want to see it. That card better be fire, bro. Because to be honest with you, the past couple of Canelo fights, the undercard hasn't been that well. And I have a bad feeling this fight's not going to perform the way that people are thinking it's going to be. Why do I feel like the fight's going to be lackluster? So they better have a good card, bro. And I think Teo and Boots was going to be the co-main. So now let's think about it. What if it's Devin and Teo? Oh, man. I don't know. I just think I hate to say it, bro, because it's a fight that I always wanted to see. Back in the day, man, I was screaming for Teo and Devin. I was screaming for that fight, bro. Today, fast forward. I already know dudes are going to get mad, but it is what it is, bro. The fight can only be as well as what both fighters are trying to do, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. If one fighter is not gonna, if one fighter is gonna try to fight and the other one's gonna try to be really, really defensive, like it's not gonna be a good fight, bro. It's not. It's not. And I don't understand why people always got to do the whole drastic shit. You talk about somebody needing to be a little bit more aggressive, and they always be like, "What are you saying? What are you saying, Shadow? Are you saying he should just stand there with his hands down and just let him get pieced up? Like y'all so drastic with it, bro. Come on, man." You go to the store, you get a slice of pizza, and you're like, this doesn't have any salt on it. What do you want? A fucking pound of salt? You want me to shovel it? You know what I mean, bro. Can I have a little bit of salt, please? That's so drastic. It's a fight, man. If they were fighting each other, I'd be more excited. Yo, why do I have a feeling one of them are going to lose, bro? Why do I have a feeling one of them are going to lose? The way boxing's been going, I have a feeling one of them are going to lose, bro. Just like with the Ryan and Devin shit. You already had the great storyline, bro. You already had the great storyline. They both had the similar time. I mean, I could understand if one person had more time off and the other one didn't. No, bro, they both had the same amount of. They literally had just fought each other. What better way than to just go straight into the rematch? But no, y'all want to play. Y'all want to play like, no, let Ryan fight this guy and fight Rolly, and we'll give Devin Jose Ramirez, and hey, I got a good idea, and let's give Tio Barboza, and the winner gets boots. And now none of these fights are happening. You see? None of them. None of them. Tio and boots isn't happening because you didn't go straight into that. I think they tried to do that, but the Devin and Ryan rematch ain't happening because they didn't go straight into it. And Ryan lost, and Devin had I don't care what anybody says, horrible performance. Just horrible. And now people was like, now, I don't know about you. It's a preference thing. I would rather see Devin fight Ryan still than to fight Tio. I would rather see Tio fight no, I'm sorry. I would rather see Ryan fight Devin still than for Devin to fight Tio. A horrible one, bro. Bro, if you're a Devin Haney fan and you're like, yo, that was a horrible performance, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you for keeping it real, bro. Just shout out to you, bro. Because it's like some of them are like, man, y'all don't know boxing. You don't know what you're talking about. That's a masterclass, bro. You know damn well deep down inside you don't believe that. And I swear to you, bro, if Tio ever did some stupid shit like that, bro, he ever did some stupid shit like that, bro, I'd probably make 3 straight lives going off on his ass, 2 edited videos and 3 shorts. I swear to you. I swear to you. No cap, bro. No, I go at Tio now when he says stupid shit. You're not going to waste my time as a boxing fan, bro. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But now it's different, though. I mean, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to put all that blame on Devin either, Tycho. I have to keep it real as a Teofimo Lopez fan. I have to. Like, I don't know what Tio I'm going to get, bro. That's the issue with Tio. It's like flipping a coin. I know when his back is against the wall, we see what happens. We see what happens. I mean, even when he was losing that Cambosa's match, bro, he was trying, bro. He almost put him away too. Like he was trying, but still. But then he turns around and fights like Sandor Martin and Jermaine Ortiz. I blame Jermaine Ortiz too, but that was more. But still. Same shit I'm gonna say with Canelo. Like, if you're in a ring with somebody and they're not being aggressive, right? They're being evasive the whole fight. I get it. They're being evasive the whole fight. Absolutely. The fans see that. Don't act like we don't see that. That's not an excuse for you to like, fuck it. I'm gonna just let him run away and not attempt to, you know what I mean? I know it sounds easier but that's what I saw with Canelo. And I even saw Tio do that with Jermaine Ortiz. Forgot what round it was. Tio literally just stopped trying to cut he just literally, he went like this. That's when they took the picture. He was like, what are you doing? Are you going to fight me? And then he just let him go like that. And I saw Canelo get frustrated. So some of it is on Tio, but it's mostly on Devin, bro. I just feel like Devin's going to, look, man, am I crazy to think that if he fought like that against Jose, like, how is he going to fight against Tio, bro? Who is more athletic, younger. In my opinion, he's got more power than Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez never been a knockout puncher, neither has Tio, but Jose Ramirez is an accumulations of punches type person. He's going to walk you down, and you got to take a lot of shots from him to be wobbled and knocked out. Tio is at least athletic, has a good jab, has good counter punching, can fight going backwards. When he went backwards against, what's his name? He threw an all-time high for him. I just would rather, I still think Ryan and Devin is not a bad fight, okay? With everything that went on and everything that happened, with everything still, even with them having bad before, I still think that's a good fight, bro. Because it's not just their performances, bro. It's what comes with it. All that accusations and all that shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I hate that shit, bro. I hate the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Just get that out the way and just show me what, I mean, because that be driving me crazy, bro. All the crazy woulda, coulda, he woulda did that, he did, huh? I mean, that's my prediction, bro. I feel like he's gonna do the same thing he did with Jose Ramirez if they fight, Tycho. Now, I know people are going to say, of course you're going to say that. I mean, okay. I'm pretty sure Devin Haney fans are going to say something else. That's fine. I'm just telling you what I think. I'm telling you that I feel like I would rather still see him fight Ryan. I feel like, I know people can say all they want. I still feel like the public, the boxing public, I'm not going to speak for everybody else. I'm not. I'm going to speak for myself. Yes, they both had horrible performances, but I still would rather see Ryan and Devin with the background and everything that happened. And because if Devin was to just beat him and just get it out the way, fine, bro. Y'all, just get it out the way, man. Oh, yeah. By not, yeah. Yeah, like just out pointing him. I think Tio's not stupid. Tio knows that's what's going to be their game plan. So, and we already know that's going to be Devin's game plan. How do we know? Because I think Bill even alluded to it. Bill kind of alluded to it when he was on the was he on the Boxing Voice, or was he talking to Coach Malachi? He was talking to one of them. They brought up the Tio fight. And he don't even got, bro, he doesn't have to tell us anything. It's not like some secret. We know how he's going to fight. It's not like some hidden secret, like we're going to find out. Like, you already know what's going to be. It is what it is, bro. I still would like to see that fight. Well, look, before I get out of here, I'm going to say this. Hopefully, they can still make the Boots fight, bro. Like, wishful thinking for me is going to be, hopefully Boots can still, I don't know what's going on, but I do know that I have to keep the same energy like I would with anybody else, bro. If Virgil Ortiz did it, I do the same to him. If Keyshawn did it, I do the same to him. It's the second time, bro. And this time it's a little bit harder, bro. It's a little bit harder. Yeah, you're gonna have certain people that's gonna make excuses, and I've already been seeing them, and I broke down all those excuses for you in this live. The top 3 excuses that I see, it's a pointless excuse. You can't use it. Because first off, one of them isn't true. The other one doesn't make any sense. You can't sit here and say T.O. doesn't sell. Boots don't sell, and it's not even about to sell because Turkey's paying for it. When Turkey's like, y'all got to get that out. Why do you think Tank said, let me get 2 Ferraris, right? And Tank said, I already knew that Devin was his man. So I knew that if I didn't knock Devin out, they're going to give the fight to Devin. I mean, they're going to give the fight to Shakur. Yeah, when Tank said that, he told me everything I need to know because, look, I'm not the most seasoned type of fan where I break down everything. Like, and I'm not going to say I'm like a narcissist, bro, okay? But I've been watching boxing since I was a kid, and I can tell you this right now. I think almost everybody and their mama know that if Tank was to fight Shakur and that fight goes the distance, unless you've dropped Shakur numerous times, Shakur beating you on points, bro. You're not going to outbox that kid. So by you admitting it's going to go the distance, what are you telling me? You're telling me you're not going to knock him out, right? Okay, then. Okay. Because that's what I got out of that. If I don't knock him out, then they're going to, no shit. He's going to win on points. Unless you knock him down numerous times, because I can tell you right now, if you go 12 rounds with Shakur, he's going to, that means you didn't land that one punch, Tank. And that means more than likely, he outpointed you. But the whole thing they don't sell, you can't use that because Turk's paying for it. That's number one. Number two, he's at 147 and T.O. coming out of nowhere. No, I just showed you, bro. Back in January, they were talking about this fight. You had the Turk publicly say, hey, look, the winner of this face the winner of Devin and Ryan. So you can't use that. And what's even worse is you can't even use what Boots is going to unify. How? Boots is already unified. He already beat Stanionis. You got Pacquiao, who's about to fight Barrios. And you got Brian Norman Jr., who's about to fight the dude in Japan. Like I said, I get their names wrong. There is no excuse, bro. Unless you're going to move up and fight who? Are you moving up to 154? Third. Tio would be the best person on your resume. Whether you think he was undisputed or not, he was lineal. He was lineal at 135. He's definitely lineal at 140. So that makes him two-time lineal champion. The man that beat the man that beat the man that beat the man that beat the man. So you can't use that excuse. It's all I'm telling you, bro. The only people that's going to make excuses for this is die-hard Boots fans that don't want to. And I'm a Boots fan, but I'm telling you, you got those fans, and then you got the fans in denial. Like when I saw HLD over on shout out to was it H Money? Shout out to H Money. I saw HLD on the channel, and some dude that likes Boots. I don't know his name or whatever, but all HLD said was what I've been saying. Like, okay, well, he said, yo, man, shut the fuck up, man. Tio, bitch ass motherfucker, bro. Boots will knock him out in 3 rounds. Okay, so then you want to see it then, right? I want to see it then. So just tell Boots to sign the contract, and then we could just see what happens. I mean, shit, it's probably easy bag for him, right? Dude went off, bro. Fuck you, motherfucker, want to fight and shit, right? Okay, so you don't want to talk boxing, right? Because you know deep down inside that it's ultimately up to Boots, and money's not the issue because the Turk's taking care of it. You got your own promoter saying he would like that fight, right? You got the other 2 champions that you can't use as to unify. One is fighting Pacquiao. The other one's going to Japan. You just fought Stanionis. You got the guy that you would have made. It's good money, right? They already said it's good. It's a good payday, right? And then on top of that, you can't tell me he wouldn't be the best guy. You can't tell me you don't want him as a resume. And then let's throw the extra cherry on top. You could be the savior for all the racial shit Tio has said. I mean, it's all there. So why aren't you? Why? This is the second time. Why? And like I said, bigger. Southpaw, orthodox, got more reach, bigger. To me, is a natural 154. I mean, bro, just there is no excuse, bro, why this fight isn't being made. All right, that's the truth. And I like Boots since day one. And if T.O., I swear to you, bro, watch. Y'all gonna stick around, bro, because ain't nobody perfect, bro. Ain't nobody perfect. Watch. When that time comes where I'm a go at T.O., y'all already know that's been watching me know I'd go at T.O. anyway, especially when he was doing that racial shit. But watch, I'm talking about in the ring. Watch how I flame his ass, bro. You think I'm gonna hold back? Shit. I go at the fighters I like more than the fighters that I dislike, bro. Y'all got me fucked up. I ain't no meat rider out here, bro. I can't stand meat riders, bro. I can't stand, bro. Come on, bro. Criticize the motherfucker, man. I start looking at you weird now. Nah, I don't think so, Tycho. And I don't think he's scared either. Like I said, I'm gonna stick with my reason of why I think it is. And then I got to get out of here. I think like I said, he looked y'all go back to the Stanionis fight. Tell me how Boots looked the like 3 days prior out to the fight, because they got it up there. The Ring Magazine, they got it up there. Just tell me how he looks, bro. He looks like he's just having. I know what he said. I don't care what he said. I know what I saw. I saw a man that looked like he was hardly making weight. He looked dehydrated. He looked like he was having problems. So I maybe Tycho, he thinks he's gonna have a bad weight cut. Because I'll tell you right now, losing to T.O. would fuck up his everything. Because they ain't gonna let that go. They ain't gonna let that go. They gonna be like, you let a smaller man, you know, like, you know how this community is, bro. You know how boxing fans are. And I think maybe he thinks in his head, like, well, if I'm gonna have a bad weight cut, and I do, because that's what Eddie Hearn said. Eddie Hearn, go to his, let me see if I can find it. Eddie Hearn said that Boots is saying it's about underperforming. So the only thing I could take from that is he thinks that he's not gonna have a good weight cut. T.O. will have a good weight cut because T.O. don't got to lose weight. He's got to, you know what I mean? And that he might have a bad performance. And then I'm thinking in my head, well, if you lose to T.O., that'll really fuck up your stock. Especially with everything that's been going on. And then on top of that, imagine what Crawford fans or even Errol Spence fans will say. Oh my goodness. But like I said, you line up all those excuses that some and shout out to the dudes that have surprised me. I never thought I'd say shout out Aki TV and shout out some of these dudes from the LDBC, but that I'm shocked. They're making the videos and they're like, nah, bro, you got to keep this 100 here. It's the second time. There's no excuse, bro. Why isn't he fighting him? So that shocked me. And that'll probably be the last time I ever say that about any of these guys too. It's not like they do that shit often. But maybe they just sick of it too. Like, bro, what the fuck? You know what it is? I think is they don't like T.O., which I understand. I don't blame them. And they want to see him get his ass whooped. So when it's not happening, it's frustrating them. I don't blame them. I'm frustrated too. There is no excuse, bro. It's the second time. And it's even worse because the first time, at least Eddie was taking most of the brunt of that. Eddie's coming out like, he's saying, I've already told you I like the fight. I already told you I like the fight. I mean, but I'm gonna stick with that, bro. I think it's a weight drain issue. But if that's the case, Tycho, you're right. You just go to 154 and call it a day. Maybe he really wants to wait for that Brian Norman fight. I don't know. I think Brian Norman Jr., and like I said, I'm a Teofimo Lopez fan, but I mean, I like a fighter in every weight class. Like I said, I have the shit memorized from 130 to 168 because I know which fighters I like. And Raymond Ford, Keyshawn, T.O., Virgil Ortiz, Adames. I guess 168. I like Caleb Plant a little bit at 168, but it's Canelo. And then at 175, I really do like Better Beef. I think Better Beef, even with his age, and I like David Benavidez too. But like I said, I think Brian Norman Jr. is more dangerous stylistically. You know what I mean? He's been at 147 longer. And I think just stylistically, he'll probably struggle with Brian more. Like I said, I don't think it's not fear. So I think people need to really get that out of their head, bro. None of these guys are scared of each other. So please, bro, I can't stand it when these guys put that narrative out there. None of these guys are really scared of each other, bro. Stop it, bro. This is what they do for a living. I do think some of them are like, this is stylistically, that's a harder fight. Like, it's still a duck, but the reason is different. The reasoning is different. You know what I mean? Like, being scared of somebody is way different than, well, you know, I can make money and go this route and it's easier. And I do follow the whole Floyd work smarter, not harder fucking motto. That don't mean they're terrified to fight the guy though. But like I said, shout out to those channels that have been keeping it real, bro. Because they're probably frustrated, bro. They don't like Teo. They want to see him get his ass whipped. They think Boots will beat his ass, and I don't blame them for thinking that. I mean, he's got the height, he's got the reach. It's his weight class, bro. You know, like I said, southpaw, orthodox, power for days, stands up in between rounds. I mean, they want to see Teo get that. So when he does this for the second time, they're frustrated. I don't blame them. And shout out for them for keeping it real. Yeah. I've always wanted to see that fight. Always, bro. He didn't take that one either. Remember that, Tycho? I saw somebody who said something the other day, and I started thinking about it. I'll say this before I go. The person was like, yo, for years now, I've always thought people were avoiding Boots. He was like Crawford and all these other guys, and you got Bozy Ennis saying that, you know, nobody wants to fight my son. We want to fight these guys. And I always had it in my head. And then, like I said, I forgot who said this, but then he said, then I saw what he did with Brian Norman, and I'm not sure who ducked in that situation. But then I know with Virgil Ortiz, he turned away from that. Then he turned away from Teo the first time, and now he did it the second time. I forgot who said that. And when he put it like that, I was like, yo, is actually true. That's just actually true, bro. I'm puzzled. We'll see, man. Hey, man, I think y'all appreciate y'all, bro. I gotta head out, man. Y'all have a blessed day.